The Hamish and Andy Show podcast. Powered by Amy. Lucky you're with Amy.
Gee, ties are on, but looser because it's summer now.
Sound the business horn.
Welcome to another board meeting, the final one of the year.
I hope no one took the business horn seriously, because I know in business people are conditioned to, when they hear that horn, just start trading stocks and selling things. That was just me mucking around.
What part of the world are they using the horn?
New York Stock Exchange.
I thought it was the bell.
That's for show. The horns, when they turn off all the cameras, everyone's like, when do we really start? And they blow the horn and they start working.
My mistake. Hey, some actual official business before we get to the more official business of the board meeting emails. But next year, podcasts will return, but double the amount of podcasts.
2 podcasts. A lot of people have been asking what the format of the radio show will be next year. Now, we know a lot of people that are listening to this are just podcasters. Let's face it, you guys are you're the real people.
You're the future.
But, sometimes people listen to this on the radio too, and good on them. Not this bit. This is just exclusively for you. But the radio shows next year, we'll be doing the drive show on a Monday. So that means the podcast that's normally our radio show will come out obviously earlier.
Monday
night.
Yep.
Australian time. And then Tuesday to Friday, we're doing a show called a business brunch. Some very keen, astute people have noticed the similarities to the business brunch and the board meeting. We were as shocked as anyone to realise they're similar, but upon inspection have acknowledged that, yes, there are a few similarities. That's Tuesday to Friday, but on a Friday, we're just going to collate those business brunch shows together, and there'll be another podcast on the Friday.
Yes.
So there'll be 2 podcasts a week.
Hey, putting that aside, I think it's time to get into the actual board meeting.
A lot of people, though, this is the people listening to this. You guys
it's so important for the business brunch.
Will be our main focus really next year, because each board meeting will deal with a topic. Just each business brunch will just have one issue that we'll deal with per day. Those issues will be put up on a Friday.
Could be cats. It could be lightning.
Could be claws.
Oh,
could be.
We might cover that off.
Could be Christy Brinkley.
It could be.
And could be Zambionis, those machines that smooth out the ice on ice rinks. That'd be an interesting show on Zambionis.
We'll pick one topic for a business brunch and each day, and we'd love you just to email in. It could be a question, it could be a theory.
Topics go up on the Friday.
A story.
And you might be sitting around Saturday afternoon going, hang on, my dad drives a Zambioni. I think I've got an insight here. You jump on the website, shoot it in, and then and then on Wednesday, when that day is Zambionis, just for just from in the morning, then you will be able to read out your email, your thoughts, your theories, your questions, your facts.
However small the link might be, but it does have to be on topic.
That means by the end of next year, we would have covered off in our little business brunches hundreds of topics, really in depth.
Usually, on the Zambioni day, we might get 2 topics in.
No, it's always one a day, and that's why we need your help, because I, shockingly, am not a Zambioni expert. I could probably have 3 or 4 things to talk about to them, but I'd be willing to get your feedback on Zambionis, if indeed they are called Zambionis, because the more I say it, the more I question that is the name of those machines.
I reckon we'll cover that off very first part.
Might have a Z.
The board recognises Gareth Morgan.
Good morning, Gareth.
He enjoys the show. He's downloaded the podcast every week, but he's fallen a bit behind and been stockpiling for a while.
Okay.
Just got back into it. He just listened to Friday the 21st of May, 2010.
Oh, and a great episode.
Okay. He heard us talking about Tiggy or Chasey.
Or
tip in some parts of the world. Essentially where you run around and you say you're it after tagging someone. Tag's another word for it. He said, we were talking about how Gang Tiggy was the best.
I didn't mind Gang Tiggy.
Yeah. Come on, guys, he says. Have you forgotten Kiss Tiggy? Undoubtedly the best type of Tiggy. Can't believe it didn't get a mention.
It was, but the older you get and the more you look back at what you're really doing in Kiss Tiggy, you learn as you grow up, and I hope you've learned, Ando, especially as a prowler, and as a man that enjoys a prowl, which is really low-speed Kiss Tiggy. Your Saturday nights are just low-speed Kiss Tiggy.
Eventually.
You do need the girls' consent, and the whole basis of Kiss Tiggy was you didn't have their consent. That's why they were running away.
No.
It was, that was, the older you get, the more that seems wrong to have done.
Also, when it's fine for that to be happening at that age, you didn't actually really want to be kissed. So running away was, really scary thing. That's why I hated that form of the game back in the day.
You were spooked by the girls.
Yeah. Didn't want to kiss. Kiss, cooties, germ lock, etc.
If only an older prowler could sneak back into a younger
Well, no, that'd be weird.
prowler's body. No, that would be extremely weird.
So, Gareth, we're going to say no. You're incorrect, and we look forward to your email in 2 years' time when you eventually catch up on the podcast.
And you hear this. Well, allow us to put this in the time machine.
Shred that one, Jack.
Good work, Jack. Clearly just tearing them. The board recognises Jeremy Ootloff.
Ootloff, welcome aboard.
Ootloff, take a seat, Ootloff. We've been waiting for you.
Take a load off, Ootloff.
He's done. Are you going to take your hats off to Ootloff in a second? Because he's done a lot of calculations. Oots off. Here's what he's done. People might have heard on the show the other day. We're talking about. I raised a question: if the human body essentially just needs kilojoules to run, and it needs a certain number of kilojoules or calories, you would have seen this on the backs of packs of food. Yep. Even at Macca's and stuff, when they do serving size, they're going, this is all based on how much energy you need per day. So a Big Mac's, 14% of your energy needs or whatever. If we just have that magic number, then technically, obviously, starving to death means we're not hitting the magic number. And over time, we just run out of energy. And sadly, it's curtains.
Is this the desert island?
This is a desert island scenario. Look, from what I remember on the show, it was rather a convoluted hypothetical. Basically, I just wanted to know, how much extra time does an olive buy you?
If you're on the brink of death and you're offered one olive, brink of death of starvation, you're offered one olive, how much time?
What's it putting on the clock?
Yeah. Now, I said a day.
And I tried to explain it in such a way that you probably still needed energy to eat it and all that sort of stuff. So if you're about to die, it probably doesn't even matter. You don't have the energy to eat it. Because I assume on the last day, it's like you're napping.
Well, the nutrients of an olive injected into you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. But even then, you might use energy to repair the needle mark. It's hard. There's a lot of things involved. So, you said a day. I said, no, that can't be a day. You can't survive off an olive a day. It doesn't make sense.
Well, there's Ootloff.
Ootloff's gone and done the maths. So Ootloff's got home, kicked his boots off, and Ootloff sat down and gone, how do we work this out? So he said, essentially, you need about 8,000 kilojoules a day. He said, based on those, that's for a grown man. Based on those facts, and your body uses about 100 watts, which is 100 joules per second in energy, in heat energy. Your standard olive is about 28 kilojoules. Some maths ensues, comes out, bounces out at 280 seconds of energy. You get out of an olive just a touch under 5 minutes of olive power. So he goes, so I guess you'd be okay if you ate an olive every 5 minutes. Now, my argument to Ootloff is that actually keeps you satisfied. That keeps you satisfied to the brink where, if we were eating 8,000 kilojoules a day, we're never hungry. Yeah. Like, that's what you're meant to eat all day, to never be hungry. And, this is what Macca's is telling you.
You're still hungry.
This is what Macca's is
probably what you need.
This is what Macca's is saying to you, though. This isn't just surviving. Yeah. So I think you could even halve that, and you could maybe get 10 minutes out of it. Anything less than that, and you're in trouble. Not to mention the fact that you are now going to be monstrously dehydrated because all you're doing. I did mention it was a stuffed Spanish olive, which are very salty. So not to mention the fact you're probably having about a pound of salt a day.
I'm baffled that Ootloff's done all this work, actually done the figures. He's come at it at a very scientific background.
Yep.
Has said it's just under 5, and you've immediately gone, I think under 10.
I think you could get 10 because he's going off figures that you're satisfied. Like you'd probably eat 8,000 kilojoules today. Now you're not anywhere near starving to death.
No,
I'm just talking about sustaining your life here.
Yeah, so at least 10. So we still don't know.
Well, it's not an hour. It's not a day. I'll tell you that much. If you're going camping and you've only packed one olive for your day, you're a dead man, and I dance upon your grave with it.
With Ootloff. Jeez. Don't shred that one. You might need to contact Ootloff.
Nah, he'll hear this. Sounds like it's a pretty good podcast.
The board recognises Marcina Cashman.
Hello, Cashman.
Yeah.
What's the haps, man?
She said, I found photographic evidence that Cackling Jack is no longer the only man in the world with the girly sparrow tattoo.
Oh, that's good.
We've mentioned this before. Cackling Jack has huge girly sparrows diving into his buttocks.
Heading down into his crack, looking for a worm.
Well, they only became girly really when we saw that the Veronicas,
And other
one of the
girls.
Veronicas had them. Before that, you guys were like, oh, they're pretty rock and roll. They're cool.
I don't remember saying that. I'd love it if you could find the show where we said that.
Yep, pop a hit teen girl sensation. The Veronicas have
Australia's
got them.
answer to tattoo.
Yeah, and you've got them, and then we've got sent number of pics of just girls with them. It's,
Usually rockabilly girls. Girls that live in Miami and have old school roller skates. Girls like that.
well, good news for Cackling Jack.
Who's got him? Who's the tough guy that's got him?
Harry Styles from One Direction.
One of the manliest girls you'll find. Great work.
That must be a load off your back there, Jack, to know that you're sharing it with a boy band.
I'll shred that.
The board recognises Alan Funnel.
Alan,
Hello, Alan. He's having a go to see for the TV show he recently did, Australia versus New Zealand, Caravan of Courage, Australia versus New Zealand. At the end, it was a dead heat. We couldn't believe it after 2 huge television specials.
Amazing.
We were blown away that both countries scored exactly the same. We got out the rule book. We realised that under the rules of comparing countries, the winner is whoever comes first alphabetically. Alan's written in and gone, New Zealand wins, actually, because the original name for New Zealand is Aotearoa.
I think it's Aotearoa.
Aotearoa. Never pronounced it before. Have seen it written down before now that he mentions it.
Yeah.
It's he says obviously because AU comes before AU. Sorry, is after AO.
Yep.
So New Zealand wins.
Yep.
He, by his phone number that he's left on our contact form, he is Australian.
Oh.
So what he's essentially done is everyone else in the world accepted this ruling.
Yeah.
He's gone, I don't accept this. I don't like Australia winning.
Yeah.
I'm going to go and look this up and I'm going to find a technicality where New Zealand wins. And the photo he's given of himself is just a smug sip of Chardonnay. Half his face is obscured with a glass of wine. He's just having a drink, as if to go, "You're welcome. Ball's in your court. I'll be over here drinking." While New Zealand now dances on your grave.
No doubt he's probably
We thought,
no doubt it's a New Zealand Chardonnay, I'd imagine.
I'd say it's from the Marlborough region. It's definitely a Pinot Gris. Your objection is overruled. Australia remains the winner.
Well, Haim, while we speak of the Caravan of Courage Australia versus New Zealand TV series, he is a fellow, and the board would like to recognise Blake Hohenhaus.
Hey, Hohenhaus.
Now, Blake had published his own book in 2009. He said he's 12, so he must have done that.
Okay, the old coloured paper on the outside and staple it up the middle, and that's published.
Called Hamish and his Hovercraft.
Really?
He predicted your purchases.
Sorry.
So
Hohenhaus is actually the oracle.
So
What is he? What's the book?
for people who don't know, on the TV show, we both purchased, but more so you than I, a working homemade hovercraft that ended up blowing up and nearly killing both of us. The book is called Hamish and his Hovercraft. He wrote it over a year. So
really thought about it.
if
How
it's
many
what-
words is it?
it doesn't say. In between under 10s basketball, obviously, he found the time just to sit back. He probably went to a cottage somewhere in the French Riviera, but obviously by candlelight.
Thought about his characters a lot.
Yeah, and then
Like the guy in Love Actually.
yes,
And his Spanish maid threw it all in the water. What a cool 10-year-old.
and just typed it out. He can't believe it. Hamish and his Hovercraft by Blake Hohenhaus. He's sent us a copy of it.
Good, because I got to see this.
I'm not sure whether it didn't come through in its entirety because it's only 1 page long. And I would suggest has taken, in fact, in the page...
The one character I noticed, just having a quick flick through, the one character I'm missing here is the hovercraft.
Yeah, it doesn't...
Hamish and his dog Husky were sitting on the front steps looking at each other when Husky sat up and walked towards a kennel. Hamish went inside to see his mum. That's all we've got.
That's all I've got. Yeah. So...
to me, that's a wasted trip to the French Riviera. There's not even a hovercraft on the front cover. It's just a box with a hat.
So I can only assume that it hasn't... The whole thing hasn't come through. I don't know what happens to the
Blake,
hovercraft.
Blake, if you're listening, we'd love we'd love more of the story.
Well-
Maybe it's episodic. Maybe next year, each whether we are still doing board meetings or even if this moves to the business brunch, we can read another chapter, another page from Hamish and his hovercraft, the lost manuscript.
What I like about it is when Clancy or other amazing novelists have a new book coming out, they often send the first chapter to publishers.
To Woman's Day.
And so you can get a sniff of it, and then you want to go out and buy it. I feel like that's what he's done. He is worried, though, that he's breaching copyright, Ham, and all I can say is you did it before us, so are we breaching copyright?
Well, at the moment, no, because Husky nor my mum nor the house appear in our story. And at the moment, just the words Hamish is the only overlap we have.
Well, Blake, send us the rest of Hamish and his hovercraft. That'd be tremendous.
The bit I'm interested about is they're sitting on the front steps, they're looking at each other. Then Husky sits up and walks towards her kennel. So I don't know if that implies some sort of psychic connection with Hamish and the dog, but that's why we want more of the story.
Yeah.
I guess. And then in the picture, the illustration, they're not looking at each other. So
That's true.
A bit of a shame that he appears to have just tried to draw that scene and they never look at each other in the picture. But still, bloody powerful stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Certainly left me with a lot of questions.
I won't shred that because that's
ongoing business.
Yeah, just send us pages, I tell you, 4 and onwards then, Blake. If it's like Coca-Cola and the executives.
Because what have we got?
trouble
We got
the
the title page.
Yep.
Then on the inside, another title page.
Yep.
And then the text.
Yep.
And then a whole page illustration of the dog and Hamish not looking at each other.
Yeah.
Which is a shame because it doesn't match up with the text. This is a theme of an email that's sent in from a lot of people. The board recognises a lot of people here. This is just one example. I mean,
Okay.
from the awesomest person on earth.
Okay.
But that's weird because you wouldn't have written this in yourself.
That's true.
And I know that's the name you like to leave in guest books and things like that at Gmail. Just the message simply reads, I so badly want to see Andy's Hobbit, which is going to sound like a euphemism, but it's your Year 5 musical that we talked about on the show last week.
Well, you and I sat through more of it than we hoped to
it's
after the show.
Terrible.
No. Actually, I think someone said it's very good for a primary school production.
Sam did, but he's a father. So he takes pity on children. You and I don't have kids yet, so we are a little harsher.
Would you agree that the set was quite good?
The set was interesting.
Yeah.
I
I said good.
I was interested by the set. Clearly, the instrumental bits of the Hobbit, your Year 5 production of the Hobbit, it's very hard to capture on VHS. We all know that.
Any play
Bray
you
doesn't
have...
pull across the live buzz that was no doubt felt in the audience. You can see some of the dads slowly headbanging to the music or falling asleep in the front row.
So there's been a request for...
So everyone wants to see it. I'm working. We've got to get one of those VHS things that puts it to DVD that we can then rip onto the website. If it's okay with Mr. Martin.
Martin Arnold.
Martin Arnold.
Yeah.
If it's okay with Mr. Martin Arnold that we're abusing his copyright and putting that production on the web.
Hey, knock yourself out.
Okay. I just don't want to get a sternly worded legal letter from Mr. Martin Arnold.
All right. Well, if we can continue then, a lot of emails that have been coming in, the board would like to recognise Emma Collins, Lachlan Barry, Peter Watson, Craig Craigson, which I'm not sure. And many more.
Yeah. Class action.
Yeah. Emma Collins says, just randomly an alert came up in my calendar that says, remind Hamish and Andy about making Jack cry.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's been 2 years.
Don't let Jack see this message from Lachlan Barry. Can you please make Jack cry? This comes about from Hamish posing the question, how quickly do you reckon I could make Jack cry? I think it was in a board meeting.
I think it was you.
No, I think I said within 2 minutes.
Oh, well, maybe it was you who said, I'm going to try it. So,
Then I said I will in the next year attempt it.
Has to be real tears. Now, we know an easy way to make you cry is to show you the film Ninja Turtles, because you did cry when you saw it as a child. But we can't, that's one of the rules. We're not allowed to just go to the easy fix of using Ninja Turtles.
The problem is, we obviously said it within a year because I want it to go out of Jack's head.
But I see these emails come in once a day.
That's why I'm saying to everybody.
You will cry.
Well, the people want cheers, obviously, because they say it every day.
They're baying for salt water, and the people will get what they want.
Of the 500 that say, when is Jack going to cry, there's maybe one that says, oh, you guys, you don't have to make him cry. That's mean. And we will forget about it if you don't want to do it.
Yeah. Mostly the world wants to see you break down.
I remember, guys. That's what I'm saying to you. If you're listening now, I remember.
Don't worry. Not a day goes by where Andy doesn't stare at Jack, wishing nothing more than for that young man to burst into real tears.
But you haven't attempted it yet, have you?
No, I haven't. I haven't attempted it yet.
I try every day.
I haven't attempted it yet, but I'd like, and put this on record,
a stunt double that looks like Jack's mum that's happy to wear a vest loaded with fake gunshot squibs. That's unrelated.
I'd like to put a ban on people reminding me. I've got it.
Because Jack sees these emails.
Jack sometimes sees the emails, okay?
He's crying with laughter at the moment because he's so prepared not to cry.
So, mark these words from the 2nd of December. Within a year.
1 year from now.
If another email comes in, the clock resets.
Ooh. Now we're going to have Jack sending you an email every day to keep himself at least 365 days away from real tears or seeing his mum fake gun down in front of him in a drug deal gone bad.
I just need to cease to the emails and, don't worry, we're going to get him.
We will be dancing on his grave.
With Utloff.
with Utloff and New Zealand. Quick email here from Javier Ferraz.
Mm-hmm.
It says, we recognise you, Javier.
Javier.
Very quickly, he says, I'd like to be put in contact with the Nude Blacks, which again is from the TV show, the Australia versus New Zealand component. We played naked rugby with the Nude Blacks. Unfortunately for all who see this email, Javier has posted a shot of himself. It looks like he's in a European city, medieval-looking cobblestone streets, and you can only describe him as completely naked, save for a backpack. He's Javier, as
54?
If that somehow tips us over, as if we go, come on, Javier, no, we can't give you their numbers. No, as you can see, I don't mind offending the public with my nudity. Okay, Javier, we think we know the guys you would like to meet.
He's not completely nude, is he, there, Ham? Because he's got a backpack on.
He's got shoes on? He doesn't have shoes on.
No shoes. It's got sunglasses on a strap that hang around his neck.
The thing is, they're probably covering the same amount of skin, but the fact he doesn't have them over his eyes makes him seem more nude.
Agreed.
Yeah.
But I would have thought, do you think it'd be less offensive if a nude man came at you with sunglasses on or with sunglasses hanging around his neck?
If he was smiling, it's funny. Yeah. If he was serious, it's scary.
With sunglasses on?
Because it's like you put a sunnies on and a handkerchief around your mouth and you're a bandit.
Yes.
You put sunnies on and you don't have the handkerchief. It's kind of like, you're a blues brother. You could be a bit. You could be a bit of fun.
Sunny.
It's sunny.
Yeah.
You could be in a fun type of costume.
Well, we're not going to pass this directly on. But what we will do is, I think if he just Googles Nude Blacks, I think they've got the contact info there.
And Andy would like to add that if you're a girl that feels the same way and you're willing to stump up with the same level of evidence, then by all means hit private Andy at AndyInbox/HamishAndAndy.com / for Andy's eyes only.
No.
/ thanks for emailing / I love you.
You can absolutely shred that one. Another class action brought to the board here. The board like to recognise Leanna Jenkins, Christy Wise,
very wise, Christy
Angela
Wise.
Kidd,
Not
and
kidding around.
Claire doesn't have a surname. She's probably like Cher or Madonna.
Who Claire's wins?
We were saying in a fit of rage that there's no Perky Nanas, the chocolate bars.
I might have accidentally gone a little bit too hard on Cadbury.
I think we were in Wellington at the time.
I think at first I was yelling at them going, how dare you as an Australian company not give us Perky Nanas, which are a product you sell in New Zealand and not in Australia. Yeah. A few problems with that. They're a British company.
Yeah, Cadbury's not an Australian company.
Cadbury's not an Australian company. I was surprised to learn, although they do sell caramello koalas. And yes, secondly, they very much do sell Perky Nanas in Australia. Yeah. I just obviously haven't happened to see one.
It's at Target stores and IGA.
Quite a popular store
in Western
Target.
Australia.
Yep.
You can see them often at the Reject Shop.
Yes, also a popular store. Yep. Kmart, I believe, not a small chain.
Kmart in Tassie.
Very much.
They've got absolutely covered.
Very much available. In fact, you're quite hard-pressed now to go to a big department store and not find Perky Nanas.
Have a Perky Nana just glaring at you. So we know that. Again, we don't need to be reminded of the Perky Nana disaster that we had.
Yeah, it was a little bit of it was sloppy nanas from me. I really should have. Well, I mean, and I think we might have even called them cowards because we asked a Cadbury rep to come on the show. And in fairness to Cadbury, they just said, look, we don't have time. And I think we maybe read a bit too much into that, bit of poetic license saying they're running scared. They know we've got them on the ropes. Yeah. We didn't have them on the ropes.
No, they were busy distributing Perky Nanas to nearly every supermarket.
Yeah, they didn't have time because things were going flat out at the Perky Nana factory to feed Australia's insatiable need and hunger for them.
Jacko, you can just...
Yeah, don't send us any more Perky Nana right now.
All right, as well. But what's the one thing I love about the podcasting audience and the people in attendance at these board meetings? Yeah. No slip-up will go uncorrected. And we very much hope that continues next year as we launch business brunches. We hope you can either listen on your radios. It's going to be on in the morning, roughly after the breakfast shows, if you're near a radio. But if not, we will then podcast those business brunches on the Fridays, comb through it, hoist us up with a tight noose of facts on our errors, or cheer for us as we hang those that have erred.
Haim, one last one to finish this board meeting off. The last one for 2012. Can't wait to come back with double the amount of podcasts in 2013. The board is recognising Emilio Giosia, I think.
Recognised.
Kind of.
You know who you are, Emilio.
Yeah. He's been... looking for a podcast back in 2007.
Okay.
He believed it was on the 27th of October. Haim, you did a prank calling a lady, and you asked the question about good old Kevin Rudd. The question was something along the lines of, would Kevin Rudd kick a wide-brimmed hat off a goose if it nipped him?
From memory... This was to see how nice Kevin was, or how trustworthy
our Prime Minister at the time.
He was our Prime Minister at the time, before he had his crown kicked off his head by another lady.
He was asking, Emilio, I'd love to find that podcast. Great news is there is an app. The Hamish Andy podcast app is available now. Small price for subscription, but it opens up to every show we've ever done. You will have to go back and hopefully for your sake it is the 27th of October 2007, because listening to all of them is quite an ask, but maybe just kind of brush Emu Bob through October, and if you don't get it there...
Amelia, I really hope that phone call lives up to the memories you had of it.
Well, we should check. What we should do is let's leave that phone call. Let's put that in. Can we do that, Jack?
Yeah, we can finish the podcast.
Okay, to save Emilio the $1.99 for the subscription fee.
This does seem like an easier way than people paying the $1.99 for the subscription. Just email us in and we'll hunt down your favourite bits.
No, as a one-off gesture, this will never happen again. We'll play this one for Emilio, but it's a taste of what you could get if you subscribe to the Hamish Andy podcast app. It's at iTunes. And everybody have a wonderful, wonderful Christmas.
Have a terrific Christmas, guys. We can't wait for 2013. There's going to be a lot more fun, and we can't wait to have you involved through Facebook, through Twitter, through the website. Help us out. It's time for you guys to be experts on a variety of topics for Business Brunch.
Meeting adjourned.
Adieu.
Hamish and Andy.
Prime Minister Kevin Rudd, came out that he's a loving father, a very patient man. This is quotes from his wife.
No surprises there.
No, exactly.
He's a great dad.
Yeah, Therese Rain. She said that he can be very patient.
Yep.
And I definitely understand that, because I think all politicians would have to be. He would never kick Jasper the cat.
Yep, good.
Or the dog, or anyone at home. I don't see him do that. Maybe he's doing it behind your back.
Who knows? But maybe he knows how much you'd frown upon him kicking someone at home.
Well, the thing is, Ham, it's quite an amazing thing that she's come out and said that. And I think obviously he's referring to he's very patient, doesn't get frustrated.
Yeah.
He'd never go home and kick a cat.
It's quite specific, though, isn't it? Just to go, he wouldn't kick the cat or the dog.
Well, Haim,
you'd almost think it would go without saying.
Yes. Well, Haim, I thought today it's your job as part of the government to ring up as a market researcher just to see what the public perception is on what Kevin Rudd may or may not kick. Now,
I've got a little
series of questions there.
I've got a little list of questions. We'll see. I think it'd be good to get a gauge of where the line from not kicking cats and dogs then hops over to what would he kick.
Have you picked out a person from the white pages?
Yep, just a random surname, but we'll hope they're answering.
Okay, let's go.
Hello?
Oh, is that Mr. Jennings?
Yes.
Mr. Jennings, my name's Patrick Mariani from Post Finch Market Research. How are you?
I'm good. Yourself?
Yes, good, thank you. We're undertaking a survey today on behalf of the government to garner people's attitudes towards Kevin Rudd. And if you've got a couple of minutes, we'd certainly appreciate your help.
Okay. Yeah. Yep.
Oh, thanks very much for that. It's in response to an interview Therese Rain, the PM's wife, gave to the ABC. I'm not sure if you read about it this morning, but
No, I don't think so.
in it she said he's a very loving husband and he wouldn't kick a cat. And we're gauging the public's opinion on whether or not Mr. Rudd, our Prime Minister, would in fact kick a cat. Is that something you feel you could partake in?
Yeah.
Okay, it's a series of questions. They're designed by our psychoanalysts, so they're all hypothetical questions, obviously, but we do appreciate if you can give them thought. If you'd like me to repeat the question, you can just say repeat, okay?
Okay.
Okay, in your opinion, do you think Prime Minister Rudd would kick a cat?
No.
Do you think he would kick a dog?
I think it depends on the dog. Is this just a yes or no question?
And unfortunately, we do just have only two options, so it's a normal dog.
No, I don't think he would.
Okay. Do you think he would kick a rubber cat?
A rubber cat? Yeah.
Yep. Do you think he would kick a rat?
Yes.
Do you think he would kick a rabid rat?
Yeah.
Do you think the Prime Minister, Kevin Rudd, would kick a rabid rat off a cat?
No, I don't.
Okay. Do you think he would kick a goose?
No.
Do you think he would kick a goose if it nipped him?
Yeah.
Yep. Do you think he would kick a wide-brimmed hat off a goose?
You have to kick the head off.
No? So he's not kicking the goose's head off. He just has to... It's a question designed to see if do you think he has a confident enough kick to kick a wide-brimmed hat off the goose's head without hurting the goose?
Yeah, I think he'd be pretty confident with the kick.
Okay. Do you think he could kick a butterfly?
He could kick a butterfly.
Do you think he could get it, though?
I'm sure he could, yeah.
Okay. Do you think he would kick a kangaroo?
No.
What if the kangaroo kicked him first?
Yes.
Do you think the Prime Minister, Kevin Rudd, would kick a pig?
No.
No. Do you think he would kick a pig if it spilt paint on his carpet?
Yeah. Yep.
Do you think he would kick a rubber cat into a pig if it spilt paint on his carpet?
Yeah.
Okay. And the final question, and thanks for your time. If he met a clone of himself and the clone punched him, would he kick himself?
Repeat the question.
If he met a clone of himself and his clone punched him, evil Kevin Rudd has punched regular Kevin Rudd, would he kick himself?
Yeah. Yes, he would.
Interesting. Okay. Thank you very much for your time.
I hope my views aren't too mean. What do you think? Do you reckon he could have kicked all the people you mentioned?
Your responses are pretty much in line with what we're finding today.
Okay.
Thanks very much, mate.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
I love that. I like that he got cold feet at the end.
I don't
Jeez,
know.
I
Sorry.
Actually,
I mean,
in fact, I'm not sure how much kicking Kevin Rudd would
I don't
do.
know if he would try and kick a wide-brimmed hat off a goose.
That was the Hamish and Andy Show podcast, powered by Amy. Lucky you're with Amy.